Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new live stream in which we will cover some live news. Just a brief one. I think here we have about 10 minutes left until the data. We'll look at the data. I will tell you what the data is as soon as I can, and I will quickly, so you can actually follow it yourself as well, which is always quicker because these streams have a delay. I'll send a link so you can actually check it out yourself. We'll look at the data. After that, we'll talk about what to expect. Look, data like this is always tricky because obviously we get the data 1 hour before the US markets open. So sometimes what you see is that we actually have a bullish reaction initially and then a bearish reversal with the NYO. We'll talk about that. Yesterday, obviously, the US session was quite bearish. So we'll talk about general expectations at the end a little bit, I think. Let me quickly make sure that everybody knows that we are live, of course. So give me a brief moment and then I'll see who's tuning in as well. Welcome, everybody. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you had a good weekend. Markets have been pretty difficult. I was quite happy. I was actually able to make a profit out of the markets last week. Not huge, but still pretty good. ROI, and I was in a useless long, which is a shitcoin, of course. Wait a minute, I cannot multitask. I was lucky to be able to get out of that with no loss, just at break even, and after that it fell down quite a bit. And then yesterday with the bearish pressure, I opened a Bitcoin long at 86,100. I'll show you why in a moment because I think that can be quite interesting. And I have not hit take profit areas yet. Close though, but I have de-risked it, so that's fine. I mean, if it hits stop loss, it's a little bit of a, which is at entry. It's a little bit of a bummer because it was very close to TP1 just 30 minutes ago. And that's part of the game. It's difficult market circumstances to trade, so I'm happy with what I can get. Okay, yeah, let me send it in one more place. There we go. I send it everywhere right now, I think. Yeah, there and there. And that's it. So the data coming out is in 6 minutes, so we still have some time. Is everything working correctly? I would assume so. It tells me that the connection is good. It tells me that the audio is good. So I would assume that everything is working as it should. I'll tell you in a moment why I bought Bitcoin. Raika, welcome to the stream. Henk, Ragwendra, John Ellis, welcome. KMLNW, Weedham People, Coloni, Zulk, welcome to the stream. Yazid, welcome to the stream. Welcome everybody. We have a nice group with us right now. Look at the data, like I said. We have unemployment rate data. Look, we have a lot coming out. We have housing starts, building permits, not pyramids, retail sales, unemployment rate, non-farm payrolls, a lot. What matters is the unemployment rate. This is the unemployment rate data from November. It's old. It's from the shutdown, of course. We have non-farm payrolls data of November. Non-farm payrolls private data from November, and ultimately, I mean, we will cover the rest. We also have non-farm payrolls from October. Then we have some retail sales. Sometimes that matters, not always. Usually it doesn't. Building permits and housing starts probably do not matter either. But okay, Ryan, welcome to the stream. Andras, welcome. Seth, Onemeister, welcome to the stream, everybody. It's good to have everyone here. We still have a couple of minutes before we stream. Okay, so the long Bitcoin. So some of you who are in the Signal group know of this trade. I mean, I send it in the premium feed, of course. But the main idea, it was a bit of a risky trade. And to be honest, when I woke up this morning, I instantly checked my phone, looking at what the price was doing, and I saw that basically nothing happened over the course of the night. But still, was a little bit nerve-wracking. To be fair. But the thing is that yesterday, if you look at Bitcoin right here on the 4-hour time frame, we hit some sort of a strong support level. It's not a major support level, but we hit this level right here at 85,600. We had some support there. It's just in general a respected intraday support level. We had the fair value gap. But then the key reason, TP1 hits on Bitcoin, that's nice. But the key reason why I opened so long is the order flow. What you can see right here is that, first of all, with the spike down we had at 630, we had a lot of shorts coming in while the price was moving up, right? So what that normally shows, and I'll show you in a moment again why that is so, what that normally means is that spot is buying, or at least there's absorption, shorts are getting trapped, and that brings about the possibility to get a move up. We had some normal order flow after that, but then again with the second spike, which was on the lower time frames, as you can see right here a little bit, was a bullish divergence. We again trapped a lot of shorts, right? So right here at 3:30 in the Asian session, and then at 4:30 in the Asian session in my time zone. So I don't know when that is for all of you. We trapped more shorts. And then later today, shorts were also not really able to move the price right here. So that made it more likely that we were going to push up, which is essentially what's happening right now. So that's pretty good. It's also just a bit of mean reversion, right? I mean, we left, so far since Friday, we've left two major fair value gaps. The first one here around 91,300. The second one right here at 88,500. Fair value gaps like that. Whenever you leave two big ones, it's very likely one gets filled at least, but okay. So that is essentially the trade I took. Like I said, TP1 just hit at 87,500. Hopefully with the volatility, because non-farm payrolls data is extremely volatile. Hopefully we can catch another TP. It's also possible we'll spike down. I mean, generally what we want. Tony, welcome by the way. Harish, welcome to the stream. Fufu, welcome. Lift the Heavy, welcome. Balanced Nomad, welcome to the stream. The news is coming in 2 minutes. And Zurich, the Bank of Japan rate hike. It's no, that's Friday. It's Friday the 19th. Is that? Mohammed, welcome to the stream. So that's coming a little bit later, but I don't think that matters too much. Clip Cult, welcome to the stream. Okay, so what we want to see is, first of all, what's by far most important is that the unemployment rate is as expected. If the unemployment rate is higher than expected, that can bring about a lot of volatility, first of all, but second of all, also a lot of bearish pressure, which ultimately, like, bearish pressure, is at the end of the world? No, but you would prefer to have bullish momentum, I'd say. So that matters. And then the non-farm payrolls data matters. We want to essentially see non-farm payrolls data that is a little bit lower than expected. We are already expecting lower data than before, right? So lower than the previous. If it's as expected, that's fine. If it's a little bit lower than expected, that's fine as well, because that means that we have a higher chance at a rate cut. And rate cuts without recession is still what we want, okay? And that's also why I want the unemployment rate to be as expected and not higher than expected. That is because if the unemployment rate is higher than expected, that will trigger a lot of algorithms and just in general fear in the markets that a recession is coming, which is definitely not what we want. Patrick, welcome to the stream. And others. Yeah, welcome to the stream, everybody. Drill Room, welcome to the stream. We have news. By the way, I pinned the website I use, which will allow you to get the data as fast as me, because if you're watching the stream, you have a bit of a delay. Keep your eyes on that website, okay? Then you'll get the data very quickly. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee it. Like if I look, I'll tell you as soon as I can, but that will still be a little bit later than when it actually comes out. So know that, be aware of that. For now, we have data in 25 seconds. You can see it on the screen right now. We'll await the data. Hopefully it's good data. And then we will talk about the price action. It's going to be volatile nonetheless. It's going to be, the next hour and a half are going to be extremely volatile. Non-farm payrolls are already volatile. And then a New York Open after yesterday, it's going to be incredibly volatile as well. We're going to slowly get the data in right now. So I am not going to look at the prices moving up slightly here. That's a good thing. That's a good, wow, okay. What's the data? Unemployment rate is higher than expected. No, wow. I'm not sure if I like that. I don't really like that. The market is liking it though. Unemployment rate is 4.6%. Oh, that's bad. Non-farm payrolls are higher than expected. Okay. Ooh, that is tricky. It's very tricky. I mean, the initial reaction is bullish, but trust me, unemployment rate being higher than expected, it can really go both ways. Oof. That is a very tricky one. I'll tell you that much. We'll see. I mean, the reaction so far is not bad. Wow, that is unexpected. So okay, it's I'm a little bit shocked, to be fair, but let's go over all of the data. Obviously, the most important data is the unemployment rate being 4.6%. That's 0.2% higher than expected. Now, obviously, this is a little bit older data, right? I mean, this is data from November. But still, that's huge, and not necessarily in a good way. I mean, the market is also a little bit uncertain about whether this is good or bad. I mean, obviously, like an unemployment rate of 4.6%, that really does bring about the possibility of getting a rate cut in January already. But do we want that? Do we really want to get these very quick and sudden rate cuts? I don't know. But outside of that, non-farm payrolls for November was a little bit higher than expected. So that negates the unemployment rate being higher a little bit, but not much. Retail sales was higher than expected. So that's also not bad, right? Because the key reason why unemployment rate higher than expected could be bad. Normally, I would always say, I want more unemployment rate, okay? I want more unemployed. I want worse jobs data, because then you're going to get rate cuts. But rate cuts are only bullish for the market if it's rate cuts without recession. And if the unemployment rate is 0.2% higher than expected, that brings fears for recessions. So that's why I'm telling you, if retail sales is higher than expected, that decreases the risk of a recession a little bit. So that's a good thing, but it's still like, what matters more, retail sales in October or unemployment rate in November? And then non-farm payrolls, October was much lower than expected. Non-farm payrolls private for October, we don't know. Building permits, we also don't know. ADP employment change weekly is fine, but this is going to bring about a lot of volatility. I can tell you that much already. It's already bringing about a lot of volatility right now, of course. Yeah. Let's see. Do we have some more data if I refresh right here? Wow. I am not sure what to expect from this, to be honest. It can really go both ways. Yeah, so unemployment rates higher than expected. Participation rates, fine. Non-farm payrolls, private, higher than expected as well. Unemployment rates, U6, higher than expected. Average hourly earnings, lower than expected. It's pretty good. Retail sales, 3.5, that's fine. Non-farm payrolls, October, revised to be lower, and also negative data. Non-farm payrolls private, a little bit higher in October. That is the data that we have so far. Honestly, I cannot be bullish on this. I cannot be bullish on the unemployment rate being 4.6. Now, I have to say that there are no major recession indicators, right now. There's nothing that makes me say, okay, we're imminently at risk for a recession. So that might be, why this doesn't matter that much. But historically, every time I saw unemployment rate being higher than expected, it just wasn't, it wasn't great. How's the market reacting? Yeah, quite bearish. Yeah. That's not, this is, it was to be expected. I mean, this is a bit of an over exaggeration, I think, because if you look at Bitcoin, we're not doing super bad, honestly. But we'll have to see. I mean, obviously, this is the initial reaction. The volume is already quite high, but the volume is going to be much, much higher when we actually get the New York open. Can we see the pre-market price action right here for the S&P 500? The S&P 500 is actually moving up though, right? So I might need to think this over a little bit more to be completely honest with all of you. What do all of you think? What do all of you think? Yeah, Jacob, that's true, but rate cuts are good as long as rate cuts are not needed for a recession. If the Federal Reserve starts to cut rates because of a recession, then it's bad. Okay, so rate cuts, we definitely want them. Okay, so bad jobs data is good. But it's always balancing on a thin line. If jobs data is too bad, such as what we had in August 2024, then all of a sudden it becomes bearish to have unemployment rates and jobs data that's bad. Because then it starts a recession, which is not what you want. No RuneScape stream today. Yeah, so far very mixed reaction to the news. Pretty crazy data though. I mean, I did certainly not expect this. Certainly not. Let me see if I can find the real-time data of the expectation for the Federal Reserve decision in January. Yeah, okay, there it is. Yeah, look at this. So here you can see, the probability of getting a rate cut in January on Polymarket. You can see that has increased from 21% to 28%, and the chance that we are going to get a rate pause, so that they're not going to cut rates, it went from 77 down to 70%. So this is why the market is reacting a little bit bullish. But like I said, it's definitely not over yet. I think the New York session, when the US really starts trading, I think then we will see a better direction and somewhat more of a consensus of whether this is bullish or bearish. Because obviously there is there's bullish elements to this and there's bearish elements to this. And we all have to make a decision ourselves based on this data. Do we think it's more bullish or more bearish? I just told you, I think it's a little bit more bearish. It's just been, whenever I think back to all the times that I saw unemployment rate data coming out and it was higher than expected, which for those of you tuning in later, you can see right now that the unemployment rate was expected to be 4.4% for November, and it is 4.6%. So that's bad data. All the other data doesn't matter that much. Non-farm payrolls are mixed. Retail sales are pretty good, but don't really matter. Housing data, I don't care about that. So that's the data that we had. That can go both ways, because more unemployment rates or higher unemployment rates means more rate cuts. That's bullish, but it also means higher chance at a recession. So that's bearish. And at this point of time, the volume, like we've seen a lot of volatility, and we see some price action and some order flow from both directions. But it's there's no consensus yet. The volume is also quite low. The volume we have seen after the news so far in this hour is significantly lower than the volume we had yesterday, or the volume that we normally have during the US session. So we'll have to wait for that. It can go both ways, but like I said, I think it's a little bit more likely that it's going to be bearish. Yeah, time to get liquidated, definitely not. We're never going to get liquidated off of this. We're already de-risked. Naji, I think bearish as well, but I'm open for both sides. And honestly, at this point of time, I actually have a Bitcoin long open. So it would be better if we go up. I would much rather be rich than right? So hopefully we'll go up here, but who knows? Yeah, Jacob, it's a possibility. It's a possibility that we dump after NYO, definitely. Raghavendra, definitely. I mean, usually what I say, when people say that I'm wrong in a video, is that me being wrong is not strange, right? What would be strange if I was never wrong, okay? If I always was right, then you should doubt me. Then I'm a fraud. But no, I'm obviously I'm wrong. I've been wrong 1,000 times probably. But in trading, in analysis, it doesn't matter how often you're wrong. It matters what you're trading, and it matters what you're buying, how much you're buying, when you're selling. That matters, right? I think at least. And that is what I'm good at. And analysis, I'm more right than wrong as well. And I try to keep you updated on all the news, everything that's going on. And hopefully you find that valuable. If not, then that's my bad, and then it's your freedom, of course, to pick someone else. But that's the way it is. I mean, in analysis, you can never be right all the time. Friday highs, is that a possibility? Nah, I don't know. No, not for now. If the US session is good, maybe, but even then, the key resistance level we have is more towards 90,000 and 91,000. So getting towards the Friday highs is going to be quite difficult, I'd say. Alt season in 2026, for now, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Not a traditional alt season, but I do think we'll have good opportunities to buy altcoins, right? But an alt season like we had in 2021, I don't expect that. Yeah, so the next major data that's coming, we just had, for everybody tuning in a little bit later, we just had NFP and unemployment rate. The key data that we had was that unemployment rate was higher than expected, which is going to cause a lot of volatility. Tomorrow we don't have a lot. We have some Federal Reserve speeches by Waller, by Williams, by Bostich. And then on Thursday, I'll be live streaming again. Yes, the fun does not end. I'll be live streaming again with the CPI and inflation rate data, also from November. And then we have the ECB press conference. But who cares about the ECB? Who cares about Europe? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Well, I do. but that's beside the point. MSC, welcome to the stream. How are you? Okay, but so that's the next data. But I think that's it, guys. There's not much more. We'll have to see. Like so far, I would say that the market reaction is actually pretty good. Altcoins are selling off a little bit compared to Bitcoin, which is not amazing. The order flow is not bad. Okay, you can see that there's actually some sort of absorption going on, which you can see, by the way, as well, if we take a look at this. Yeah, monster, the euro is stronger than the dollar, but trust me, that's not super bullish for, that's not amazing for Europeans generally. In some things it is, in some things it isn't. Yeah, so here you can see, I mean, the CVD on Bitcoin is making lower lows right here, and the price is still making higher lows, right? So there is still absorption. That's pretty good. The order flow generally is actually not bad. It's just that I think the news that we got is bearish, right? So I have my Bitcoin open, but I have my Bitcoin long open, but I would not be surprised if we drop down into 83,600 today. And generally, I'm not going to open a new trade before I actually get a bit of an idea of how the market is going to price in this data. What matters more? A new rate cut in January, maybe March, or economic stability? We'll see. The market will decide. NYO in 45 minutes. The market will decide. Yeah, clip gold. Europe is. I mean, it's. I don't have a lot of problems with it, to be fair. But where I'm from, crypto is also a bit bigger. I think where I'm from, people are a little bit more open towards crypto. And I think the government is also a little bit more liberal in a sense. Okay, but that's it. So like I said, we'll be live streaming again on Thursday, I will make a middle of the day market update, probably about 30 minutes after the US session has opened. Then we'll talk a little bit more about what I expect. So far, like I said, the technicals are actually quite good. I would say the fundamentals are bad. So what you generally do in a circumstance like that is you don't trade. That's what would be my advice right now. I'll keep an eye on the markets. I will see you all very, very soon again. Thank you for tuning in. It was a nice live stream, I think. Hopefully it was valuable for all of you, of course. But like I said, summary. News was bad. We had unemployment rates, which was 0.2% higher than expected. Generally, historically, that has been bearish more often than bullish. But the market so far and the technical so far are not too bad. So that's why I'm not imminently expecting a crash, although it is still possible. But like I said, I'll keep you updated on that. I need to see how the NYO opens first. If we see the same selling as what we saw yesterday, we're going to be down at 83,600 before you know it. But I'll keep you updated on that. That's it for now. I will see you all in my next videos.